and Instagram. What's up, Blueprint family? Thank you all for joining us tonight on this Thursday night of July the 6th, 2023.
Yes.
Once again, we have a very important topic for you all tonight. Talking
Important's a
about,
good word.
and the topic is, how does a man maintain respect in a relationship? A man. We're talking about a full-grown, responsible adult male.
Yes.
And that's what we're talking about. Trying to go ahead and join on YouTube as well.
Yeah, sorry, y'all. We are running a little late. I'm telling y'all, we are working on things behind the scenes, and sometimes it just doesn't line up the way we always want it to.
Look, yeah,
but
it does. It always line up the way that we want it
go
to.
ahead, babe.
But sometimes we all just have to be patient.
Patient. Go ahead. Perspective. Love that.
And wait on the Most High to give us a sign.
As everybody comes on in here, thank you, Instagram, YouTube, for joining us tonight.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep. Yeah, thank you all for joining us. And like we said, we really appreciate you all.
Yeah.
So Instagram followers, like every night I always ask if you all can please join our YouTube, get our YouTube numbers up so that we can help spread the word on YouTube as well. Contact your families and friends as well. Let them know that we exist and we're out here giving a good message of hope. Hope in the form of relationship advice, family advice, and just any everyday advice. You know, whatever you're dealing with, whatever you're going through. But mostly what we're here for is to help defeat the statistics of divorce, bring those numbers down, and keep families together.
And create families.
And create families, like my wife said, and create families as well, happy families.
Yeah. We do have a request too that we will be sure to get to very, very soon as we bring on in this important topic in particular. As because of the question, we're going to just head right on into the question. Y'all know how we do with our questions going in. And in particular, this is a great one because not only does this tie in to what I think is overall the ideal perspective of trying to figure out maintaining respect, because it's one thing to get it, but you got to keep that respect. And how do you do that as a man, you know, come in for a marriage into a relationship? We got some answers.
Yeah, we have answers for that. I did want to say for that person who wanted who has a request, you know, please hold on. We're just going to try to run through this topic real quick and then see what's up.
Yeah.
See what's up with you and see what you would like to add to the show.
Yeah, for sure. So, how do you maintain respect in a relationship was the question. I am 26 and have dated plenty of women. One of the major things I have learned is that a woman's love for a man correlates to her respect for him. And the main way to get a woman to respect you in a relationship is if she is disrespectful towards your boundaries that were prior discussed to going exclusive. You first have a civil chat with her, and if it continues, you walk away. My question is, in a marriage or when you have children, this is much harder to do. So, how do you maintain respect in that scenario over the long term?
That's not hard to do. Because you got children and you can't find time to sit down and talk to your wife in private. Like, I don't understand that. Well, he's a young man. First of all, he's
not
26.
Married. Yeah, and not married.
Oh, he's not married? He's dated plenty of women. Okay. One of the major things he have learned, the woman's love for a man correlates to his respect, of course. Yes, that is true. Men, young men, if you are being disrespected by the woman that you're dating, that woman is not for you. And then also too, don't even hold in your mind and in your thoughts that you can change this woman, because that ain't going to be the case. She's going to have to find some sort of soul searching and change herself. Vice versa. Also too, for women, if you are with a man who's disrespectful to you, don't think that you're going to be able to change him. He's going to continue to do what he normally does until he actually has a self, reflection of in the mirror and sees what he's doing to you and make that change for himself. So don't fall into that trap thinking that you can change people. And we say that pretty much every night. Right. And he said first you have to have a civil chat with her, and if it continues, you walk away. Yes, in his case, because he's not married. Yeah. It's easy that way. If a man not getting along with the woman that he's dating, then of course he has options. This guy evidently he has options, and yes, he walks away. But the question is, in a marriage and also with children, how do you do this without walking away? Yes, because you don't want to walk away from your marriage,
right?
Because you all are having a disagreement or what have you.
Yeah.
So we're going to give you some points and some tips about what to do in that instance and how to basically we're going to give you the answer to that question.
Yep, because respect in particular from a woman, when someone respects you, it really means that they value your opinion, your contributions, and your overall worth as a person, as a man. So that respect is I understand, very connected with a man and how he sees how he sees that you look at him, and for that approval as well, because a man, I think, relates approval to love too, because he wants his woman to approve of him no matter how he is, like, not saying to accept bad quote unquote behavior all the time, but even when he does make a mistake, to still approve of him and respect him, because you know him and his disciplines, who he wants to be, who he's aspiring to be, who he's working to be, and you just approve of him for that. So I totally get that, because it's a really validating feeling when your woman respects and loves you, even when you slip up and you're not who you ideally always obtain to be. So that's just it can really help men feel like they're making a difference in the world when you respect your man and show him that he is valuable no matter what. Also, too, respect is a sign of trust. When you respect someone, you're completely saying that you trust them to be competent, reliable, and trustworthy. And this is really important when it's for a man going out into the world, for him to know that at least at home, he is respected in the sense of his wife believes in his good character and knows that he's going to be the stand-up guy that he is. Of course, all of this ties right into the character of the man as well. So, I guess it's a common concept to say the respect that you earn.
Right.
But,
Well, yeah, man, you have to separate the men from the boys here. And that is, some women can't see that, or they don't have a good example of what a man is.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work for boys.
Right.
Boys still have to find respect within themselves first. They have to validate themselves first by accomplishing goals.
Yes.
And build character building. A man who is already well established in himself and his values and his virtues and what have you. Yeah. He don't need much validation other than from his wife and his family. To be honest with you, of course, he has to do a good job at work, and but that will naturally come as along the way with all of the characteristics and goals he's has achieved, and all of the hard work that speaks for him.
Yeah. And respect is love, of course,
Right.
Like it really translates. I think men spell love respect. If you could just flip them words, flip them out. Right. I think a man would want a woman to respect him more than anything. Like, even if, I guess, right away, because at the end of the day, as long as you respect a man, even when he pisses you off, you aren't going to do anything that's disrespectful. You know what I mean? So like when that love is, in a way, on the back burner, in the back of your head, because you upset, you still respect him.
Well, I mean, he needs to also be respectful as well, of course. So don't get it wrong. I mean, a man just can't be coming in here and treat his wife any kind of way. Because in order to get respect, you have to what? Give respect. So it goes hand in hand. I mean, that's just the bottom line of it.
Yeah. And in particular for this young man that wrote in, I think the biggest part of it is vetting a woman who respects you from the beginning, shows all the signs of her respecting you as a man, so that she's going to continuously respect you as life goes on. And then, of course, we'll talk about the maintaining it part, the parts of, keeping that respect going, because like you always say, that's really all about refinement. That's a never ending process of, keeping yourself refined, and that in itself will help you have respect. So here are actually some signs that a woman respects a man, because like we were saying, you have to make sure that you get this woman that's already doing these things before you choose to make her your wife. So then that way you're protecting yourself and you know what you're, really getting yourself into.
Right. I mean, I think these are good points, because on average, average people, we're talking about average people who make $35,000 to $55,000 a year. Do average women respect men on average in today's society? Yeah, you hope so. You need that to happen.
And I mean, that's unfortunate, though, because if you think of back then, traditional men, they weren't making hundreds of thousands of dollars salary-wise, but their women still respected them and still valued their role and position that they played, not only within her life, but in the household and also the community as well.
It depends on what decade you're talking about. When you said that, I see more so like the the 40s, 50s.
Yeah.
When women were housewives. They relied a lot on their husbands to provide income for the families. And then you get into the 60s and 70s.
That's a culture base too, throughout the world, that culture of providing equaling respect.
Yeah. Traditionally men, are providers, and and you respect the head of the house and whatnot. It is a double standard thing. But let's jump into these points here.
The signs that a woman respects a man. So woman, this is great to take note as well for yourself, so that you would know, hey, I'm really showing that I respect my man, and he should feel confident in this because I am, projecting this energy towards him. So the first one, she listens to him and takes his opinions seriously. She doesn't interrupt him or talk over him, and she actually considers what he has to say.
Right, that's true. I mean, that all of this is also the same way. So it goes both ways as far as respect. And so a good man will also listen to his wife, considers her opinion as well. But yes, a good woman doesn't interrupt her man or talk over him, and she does considers what he does say, and she also she knows when to be silent.
Yes. And also, like you were saying, that in particular is a way that you'll be able to problem solve and work through things within your relationship, because that is ultimately what you're trying to do, to understand each other and really listen and consider each other, especially when you're having arguments or disagreements. So going back to the question that the guy was asking, how do you do this when you're having those, big old arguments or whatever within your relationship? Well, you have to both take the time to really consider each other in that moment of time and sit down and brainstorm and really work through the problem, and not just jump ship, because you can't do that. You're married. So it's just more mature. It takes that maturity level of actually wanting to do that and sit down, even when your tempers are high, even when you feel disrespected, you still are able to effectively communicate and problem solve.
Right.
In some ways we'll talk about later.
Well, I mean, we're talking about these now. I mean, effective listening.
Right. Oh, so, that's so true.
He has to make sure first that the person, the woman that he chooses for his wife has to be a great listener as well. So, arguments. A lot of time women, talk over you when in the case of an argument. And, we talked before that, you need to actually diffuse the situation before it turns into an argument. But we understand that people get heated in that moment as well. So this, when it comes to the second point, she doesn't try to control him or make all the decisions. So she has to be willing to, like I said, listen, and then also to listen to his decision making as well. You see, men as leaders, we should be leaders in the community, but also too in our households as well. So your decision and what happens is relied on your experience, and relies a lot on your experience. Women mostly are intuitive. A lot of their decision making is based on their feelings and their intuition. And of course, everyone uses a sense of experience and logic as well. But men, we are mostly calculative in our approach and as far as making decisions,
Yep.
And so
Yep.
that's, a good woman. She doesn't try to control her husband. She respects his ability to make his own choice, even if she doesn't agree with him. You let the situation happen first. Whatever happens. Now, we're not saying that she doesn't point out any risks or anything that is dangerous. And also, too, the man shouldn't be too naive to not consider situations that may be risky or dangerous. You need to understand what, you need to use risk management when making decisions. And often at times men are very calculative in their approach when they make decisions. So
I love that point that she has to, in particular, even if you don't agree with him, allow him that space as a man to make that decision. Because I often think back, usually when it comes to things of wanting your man to grow or learn decisions on learn things on his own, he's not going to be able to do that if you are in a way mothering him or making the decisions for him or trying to guide him or lead him. That's not really your place as a wife. Really, for a wife, it's to be that support system so that if your man does fail, you're able to be there and help him pick up the pieces and keep going along.
Help inspire him.
Yeah, because even still, it's like allowing God that opportunity to do what he needs to do. Because first off, the position of a wife is to just play that supportive role. So you holding that on in general will give you God's favor because you're doing your part. And then you're favoring the man as well because you're allowing him to learn the things he needs to learn by himself, even if that requires him failing sometimes. We all fail. Don't be afraid of that. And don't put so much pressure on him having to be perfect every time and not make mistakes. That's not realistic. And that's not love. It's really not love. So I really like that. Yep.
And then the next point, she doesn't put him down or make fun of him. So after he makes the mistake and fails, she doesn't go and calls him names and laugh at him and say, all these expletives. She respects his feelings and doesn't try to belittle him. So don't try to demasculate the man for making a mistake. You have to congratulate him for actually being a leader and making a decision. And then, like my wife said, inspire him to do better next time, and also to learn from mistakes. That's what it's all about as far as being a leader.
Yeah. And that's, again, too, I understand. I feel the energy of a woman being a little nervous about that, right? You're like, oh, I'm a little nervous on completely having this man make the decision. But really, if you can just trust in the ability and understanding that that's how you learn and you grow, then you'll be more comfortable in first your own discernment, right? You got to practice discernment on who you allow to lead you. But once you have known that this man, he checks all the boxes, he's doing all the things that he needs to do, he is a stand-up guy ethically, morally, he is the representation that you want for your husband. Once you have known that that is him, you have to then rest in that, so that even when these, issues happen or, failures or whatever happen, you are able to trust that, okay, I know my man's a good man. I know he's going to work hard and continue to grow and continue to be better. So, I'm just going to support him in this. That energy is really going to help create and cultivate an environment for him to grow into a better leader, because at home, it will be a safe space for him. And that's genuinely what you want, because you want him to keep going out there. You don't want him to be discouraged and not continue. When life, the world in itself, especially when it comes to our Black men, the world in itself does not cut our Black men no slack. So at least as his wife, give him some slack. That would be
some grace.
Give him some grace, some love. That's the best thing.
I think those first 3 points that we have put out, women, if you are listening, these are great ways to keep the man that you have. If you're not married to him, if you're dating, if you can exhibit these qualities, he should be, if he's a good man, he will recognize these things and appreciate them. If he's dating other women, then you're jumping in the lead if they're not doing these things for him. Just understand that men recognize, and they know this. If they're intentionally dating to get married, they are looking for these type of qualities in women, other than the pluses of knowing how to cook and clean. and
being pretty.
Right, and all those other
yeah.
Things aside from that. If a woman can't cook and clean, but she can do these things and she has his back, you best believe that she's up there on that list. If he's dating, and courting multiple women and trying to figure out who he's going to pick for his wife.
Yep.
So you best to learn how to cook. If you can do all these other things, yeah. Well, I mean, if you can do all these other things and learn how to cook, then you gotta be up there, number one. Yeah. And you're beautiful too, and have grace. I mean, yeah, that's hard for a man to turn down, to be honest with you. A real man.
Yep.
So let's continue. So also too, she stands up for him when he's not around. So she defends his reputation and doesn't let others talk badly about him. Right. So no matter what happens, if people are talking bad about him, she'll stand up for a man and not sit down and be quiet about it.
Yeah, that's respect.
That is, she is his biggest cheerleader. When it comes to life and social media, when it comes to everything else.
Yep. So true. And that goes right along with, she tells her friends and family good things about him. So she's not bad mouthing him to her friends and family. And she's showing that, hey, I'm proud to be with him. So not only is she just not saying anything, but, she will proudly talk about that promotion that you got. Proudly talk about the great hobby that you are becoming more skillful at. Like, she will be proud of the things that you take pride in. And that will really show, like, she respects you. For sure.
Right. Also, too, she's honest with him, even when it's difficult. So she doesn't lie to him or try to manipulate him.
Yes.
Whether that's about her past or about some personal property that she accidentally broke, if she borrowed his car and dented it all up, she'll be honest with him and said, "I'm sorry, and I'll try to help you fix it," or whatever the case may be.
Right. Yeah, that's so true. Also, she is supportive of his goals and dreams. That's without a given, because you have to want to encourage your man and help him to achieve his goals and want to support him in that. So if a woman is doing this for you, that really just shows she respects you and she's wanting to see you get farther in life so that you both can get farther in life. Because that's really what it's about as a team when you're a family. You want to move, your accomplishments are the team's accomplishments. So really having that mindset will show, hey, she's a wife, she's respectful, and she's the one that you need to be with,
Right. And then also, too, she makes him feel safe and secure.
Yeah.
She doesn't make him feel like he's walking on eggshells around the house.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one of them, because it's hard to be around somebody in which you have to always watch what you do or say around them.
Yeah.
Another one I want to put up here, too, that is that she's apologetic. So if something is wrong, or if she did something wrong, she doesn't hesitate to apologize.
Yep.
And a lot of women have a hard time apologizing for things. I must admit, from experience and things that I've seen. I think more so men, have they apologize more so. And it may be the intention may be just to get you to be quiet
and not fight.
Right. And not argue and not fight. But if you hold the intention of wanting to make things right, the best thing for you to do is to apologize. Don't choose to compete in an argument.
Yeah.
Because that won't do anything. That will only pull you all apart.
Yep. Yeah, that's so true. I did want to add one thing with the feel safe and secure that kind of popped in my head is the going out and not doing things that would make your man feel insecure. So in the public, if, you're not creating situations that would make a man, question his own masculinity and his role in his relationship, i.e. this whole Kiki Palmer stuff going on. That is the talk of what's going on. So it makes me wonder, him as a man, how does he feel about the whole situation? And then too, it also has me thinking with the dynamic of their relationship, granted the fact we don't really know details, but with her kind of in a way, I'm sure, being the sole provider and taking on more of that, role within the relationship, is he more allowing for stuff that, I guess more so of an alpha male wouldn't be allowing of in a way, or wouldn't feel as disrespect, or not, does he not think how she dresses or whatever, anything like that is disrespect, because she buys her own clothes, she does whatever she wants to do, so it's not really much leverage he has there.
Right. I mean, right. Also, one of the things I say is that I know they're not married, but being in a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship is an audition for marriage.
Have a kid, though.
Right. Well, they have a child together. Yes, I understand that, but they are not married. But the thing is that they do have children together. They have a relationship together. And what you do outside your home is a reflection of your relationship. That's what I honestly say. And that's what I honestly believe. So, the provocative clothing and things that what she wore to that Usher concert, that by far definitely shows that he had no say in what she was going to wear that night. And more than likely, he has no say at all in what that relationship and how that relationship is going. The respect level isn't there in order for I would say, a marriage to be happy, to be fruitful. That is that is what I'm assuming about their relationship. And then also to look at, Aisha Curry and Steph Curry. The things that she say out in public. I understand that, I don't, she may think that that's entertainment or whatever the case may be, but I would dare to say something that, I want DMs too. I want women to hit me up in my DMs telling me how handsome I am. And my wife is getting all these DMs. Like, no, I mean, that shouldn't be, those words should not come out of your mouth. You need to say a lot of great things about your relationship and hold that stuff high.
Yes.
Regardless of whether you're going to get a next interview or someone else to book you for a TV show or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
You got to be real. You got to be real to you, yourself, your values, your ethics, your morals, your family, in order to really stay grounded and also to keep and maintain a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
Being mature. All of that stuff is just immature, decision making and lack of respect to their husbands. That's what, or their boyfriend, in Keke Palmer's situation, by far,
Yep. So as we talk about the lack of respect, here are some signs that your woman might not respect you, right? So what are some things to be on the lookout for where you got probably some issues creeping on up that you guys need to address? So this is definitely if you're already in a relationship or if you're dating, right? So she talks down on you. If your woman talks to you in a condescending or disrespectful way, it is a sign that she does not see you as her equal. She sees you as someone she looks down upon. So just really pay attention to how your woman talks of you, and in particular, especially when upset, in arguments, when the tensions are rising high or when the hormones are raging, stuff like that. Like, that is a very, very important thing to pay attention to.
Yeah, but also too, if she doesn't take your opinion seriously. So if your woman doesn't listen to you, to your opinion, or dismisses them out of, off bat, then you need to realize that she doesn't value you or your thoughts. That's dangerous. You don't want to deal with somebody who doesn't value what you have to say.
Yeah.
I can honestly see that being a situation, or an argument in that relationship daily. And so therefore, if you put up with this type of behavior, then you yourself don't value yourself. So you have some situation, you have some issues that you need to work on dealing with your self-esteem as well. So just be mindful of that.
Yeah, especially as it kind of takes me right on back to a woman talking down on you. Really consider if a man talks down on a woman, just really consider if that was something that you had allowed in your past, maybe from childhood, or something that you may be used to, where you're just not even picking it up because it's something that you're so used to, especially if you had a mother that didn't encourage you and talked down on you and didn't treat you right. Then in particular, as a man, that is really something you have to pay attention to, because you don't want that in your wife. You don't want to repeat that.
Or if you grew up seeing your mother talk down to your father, or talk bad about your father, subconsciously the son will pick all of that stuff up and think that's a normal relationship. Or not even seeing that type of parenting dynamic also too is detrimental. You see, that's one of the things that we're trying to do here, is to increase, lower the statistic of single parent households, because what we're breeding are people, or what's being bred are men and women who don't know what a normal relationship looks like.
Healthy relationship.
Right. Normal, healthy relationship look like. And they go through all of this, these disrespectful situations, and ultimately they start disrespecting themselves, and thinking that's something normal to do, which it is not. So that's what we're trying to do here. So also too,
she makes decisions without
consulting you. So if your woman makes decisions that affect both you and her without talking to you first, it's not a sign that she values you as a husband or a partner. So we're talking about like big purchases, taking a trip with other people without you knowing.
What you wear too, like if it's something, if as a woman and you're not, of course, I'm not saying everything exactly. I'm not saying every time you put on some clothes, you asking your man like,
should I wear this?
Right. No, but if women, if you deep down you looking at yourself and you're like, oh, this is quite revealing, go ahead and ask your man if he's okay with that. And if he says, yeah, sure, great, go with it. That's how you know that your man is safe and secure for you to go about whatever, however you dress.
If you value him.
Right. But just ask. Make sure you're asking if you, within your heart, may think, hey, this is a little risky. Let me see, how he feels about this. He may like it, he may not. Who knows? But it shows that you respect him if you're even bothering to ask and you value his opinion. Take it in.
Because that way, if what you're wearing draws a fight, then that's both his fault too, yours and his. So he'll have to own all of that as well. That takes me back to that Keke Palmer situation and the dress that she was wearing. I'm pretty sure that he had no decision making at all in that. And then also too, you have to realize too, his situation, she's more than likely is the breadwinner in that relationship, so she's going to carry that relationship that way, and normally women like that do, and that happens, and they end up with beta males, and I always talk about Nicki Minaj and her husband who she married, and then her previous relationship with Meek Mill. So Meek Mill's, of course, he comes off as an alpha male type person. So when two alphas get together, they clash. Those relationships don't work out at all. And they're best with someone who's a beta, someone who's willing to take direction and listen and fall right and just do whatever you tell them to do. It just is what it is. Those type of dynamics are, that's a working relationship for these people.
Yeah, you're right. That is true. That is the type of dynamic that people have to accept exists. And if you are an alpha woman, you are better off having relationships with a beta male, which exists out here. Single parent households create a lot of that beta male stuff.
But alpha women want alpha men.
Right, that's what I was saying, the dynamic of that, because that's not really realistic.
Right, and it doesn't work that way. I mean, alpha men don't want alpha women. They don't want a woman who's telling them what to do all the time. And not to say that alpha men tell women, women what to do all the time, but someone, the decision making, they want to make those final decisions.
Right.
So.
And I think people often to kind of just forget the fact that a alpha male and a beta male aren't going to carry their relationships the same way. So what a beta male may allow his woman to do, which is fine, that's their relationship, that's what it is, it's their dynamic. It's just not going to be the same, and you can't try to hold that to, I would never, they're just not the same.
No, but what I encourage these beta males to do is become leaders. Is to find it within yourself, light that torch within yourself to actually go out here and say that, I can't do this anymore. I need to become more of a leader, not, for myself and for my, for Keke Palmer, they have children, they need to see that their father is also a leader too.
Yeah.
In that situation and doesn't stand for, foolishness.
Right. Yep. Of course, if she belittles your accomplishments, that is a surefire way that she does not respect you, because if you do decide to step up as a man and go out and get better for yourself and do great things, she should be right there applauding you. If she's not, or if she, wants to take credit for it in some type of way, then, that's a sign that she might not respect you.
Right. Yep. And then also, too, if she doesn't trust you, if your woman doesn't trust you to walk out the door in the morning to go to work, or to make good decisions, or doesn't trust you to be faithful, it's a good sign that she doesn't respect your character.
Right. Exactly. Because if she trusts you and she respects you, she won't be checking your phone or questioning what you're doing or all this stuff, because, she trusts you and your character. Goes right back to what I was saying.
Now, the thing is that you have to make sure that you don't give her any reason not to trust you.
Right. Yeah.
Don't be coming home late at night. Don't be, missing in action, not answering your phone when you're supposed to be at home, doing things like that. That doesn't work that way.
Right. So those are just some of the signs that a woman disrespects you. Of course, I kind of want to go through this a little faster because I forgot we got the person to get into it. We also want to get into the tips of how to make sure that you are able to maintain your respect in your relationship. But of course, if a woman puts you down in front of others or doesn't support your goals, or main one you were saying, doesn't apologize when she's wrong, if all of that takes place, then chances are she doesn't respect you enough to have you be the leader.
Accountability.
She can't, do that.
Take accountability.
Yeah.
We all need to do that. We all need to apologize and admit when we're wrong and stop prolonging arguments and all that other stuff. Just go ahead and end it and say, you know what, I'm sorry. I'm not going to do this again. Next time I'm going to do this, and consult with you and what have you.
Yep.
We need to stop trying to prolong arguments. Stop doing that.
Yep. So you want to get into the ways real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So there are a number of ways to gain and maintain respect. So number one, know yourself and know the other party.
Yeah.
So you need to know your audience. You need to know who you're talking to. You need to know your spouse. You need to know who you're in a relationship with.
Yeah.
For a man in a relationship, this means understanding your own strengths and weaknesses, as well as your woman's strengths and weaknesses as well. So once you understand each other, you can start to build trust and rapport.
Yeah.
So you all can understand your dynamic, your role. If you're trying to accomplish a goal like buy a house, you all can strategically plan that way to see who's going to use their credit, or if you all going to build credit together. But understand that time is of the essence, and also too, money is a factor as well. So you all play to your strengths to increase your money and be efficient with your time.
Yes. And of course, certainly know the woman you're getting involved with before you make her your wife.
Because if she's a liability and she's taking all your money and your time, then guess what? It's gonna be hard for you to get that house.
Yeah, and if she's showing you off back, she doesn't respect you from the beginning, and you know that, then don't go,
don't be foolish and try to pick a woman like that.
Right. Know your woman. Know yourself so that you're able to protect yourself. And also, if you know that you have had trauma or a traumatic childhood, or just not able to see a male provider in your life as an example, so that you can step up and be a great man, know that for yourself as well, so that then you know what you need to work on, and then how you can be a better man overall for yourself and your relationship, so that you can attract a woman who is going to be, of a similar caliber for the most part, hopefully, or at least be able to choose a woman who you see as demonstrating that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Be strong and decisive.
Yeah.
So women are attracted to men like this, so who are good in decision making, who don't shy away to making decisions. If you can show her that you know what you want and that you're not afraid to go after it, she'll be more likely to respect you.
Yeah.
So understand that. Also to project an air of confidence. If your enemies believe that you are more powerful than they are, they will be more likely to respect you.
Yep, and that's a quote from the Art of War. That would kind of make me think of that.
Yep. So make sure you stand up straight, make eye contact, dress well, and take care of your appearance. So become an expert in your field. Speak clearly and confidently.
Yeah.
Learn to do those things. Especially for the beta male. If you're a beta male type out there, that point right there is your key to becoming an alpha male. That again, project an air of confidence,
or at least having your woman respect you and your role and where you're at, because then you are able to show that, or at least like in the Art of War says, believe that you're more powerful than you actually are,
right?
So that your opponent will be able to respect you. Not saying that the woman's the opponent, but when it comes to gaining respect, it's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. You really want to be able to project that so that the woman is able to see, wow, like, he is really confident in his abilities. And I know from having a great alpha male myself is that in particular, if you go out and do the things that you need to do and practice and garner your skills, then that helps you become more confident because you have put those skills to the test. Yeah, and that's super important as a man. And it's a great thing for a woman to see her man, be sharp and gain, more skills as he goes along.
Because, that's the reason why women fall for those Pookies and Ray Rays. That's in the community, for real, to be honest with you. Because these guys are the most confident guys in the neighborhood. They know how to talk to women. They know how to finesse women. They know how to finesse anybody. They're the tricksters of the hood.
But they got no money.
Yeah, but they ain't got to worry about that because they're going to come and get your money. They're going to find some way to come get your money by talking to you and whatever the case may be. That's the reason why women gravitate to the bad guys, the guys that don't mean no good for them, and they end up becoming a baby mama by these guys because they know how to get what they want out of them by just by doing these type of things, showing that they're powerful or showing or making other people think that they're powerful when all actuality on the inside they're not.
So true.
So number 4, communicate assertively. So assertive communication is a way to communicate that is honest, direct, and respectful. So it is a middle ground between passive and aggressive communication. When you communicate assertively, you are able to stand up for yourself and your needs without being aggressive. Or passive aggressive. This will help you to solve problems in your relationship. Yes, it will. That's true.
Yeah, because you need that. And in particular, as a man, in order to lead and guide through your relationships, that even means when things get rocky and things get emotional for the woman, it's important that you are able to still stand strong, communicate assertively, not aggressively, but stay calm, have
facts.
Calm, leveled mind, so that you're able to redirect the situation
and be direct. Be calm, state facts, and then be direct in what you're trying to portray and communicate to your spouse.
And stick to it. Like if you say something, like if you don't want your woman wearing a certain thing or dressing a certain way or doing a certain thing, and it's something that you genuinely are not for, be okay with standing strong on that and understanding like, hey, you're gonna have to communicate this in a way where your woman will get that and really understand that, and hopefully she respects you enough to be like, okay, I understand, I get it, I want to do that.
You tell her that no, that this is inappropriate. I don't want you to wear that because it's embarrassing to me and my family. Or whatever the situation may be. Just be direct and state facts.
And we're not saying this is a controlling thing. It's not.
No,
it's completely different.
If it's factual, it has nothing to do about control.
Right. That is so true.
Also, too, never stop refining. Refinement is a characteristic that is often associated with respectability. That's even for yourself. So out of respect, you always wake up to refine yourself, to make yourself better than what you were yesterday. That's one of my other mottos, is that I like to challenge people to be better than what they were yesterday. So the world is constantly changing. So you need to be willing to learn new things in order to stay ahead of the curve, learning to pivot and adjust. So don't just sit around and wait for things to happen. Take action. Never stop working towards being the best you. You don't wait for things to happen. You make things happen. Be strategic about how you present yourself. So think about what you're saying and doing, and always be a few steps ahead. So this is also means anticipating challenges. So if you know what challenges are likely to come your way, you can start preparing for it, planning for it as well. And this means developing contingency plans, training your team on how to handle certain situations. So train yourself to handle situations or your family, or simply being aware of the potential problems that could arise. This is about being a risk manager. Men should be good at risk management. If it's something that is new to you, You need to understand that you need, in every situation, or wherever your surroundings are, you need to be able to be vigilant and look around, making sure that there are no threats to you, your children, your family. And then also you to use common sense and take your family out of situations that may become toxic.
Yeah.
So don't just stick around for things like that.
Yep. And that is attractive. And it's the last one that really ties right into that question of how do you manage to keep that respect and maintain that respect. And it's by what my husband just said, actually refining every single day, never stop paying attention and being able to spot different challenges before they could arise. So if you're noticing, things are going on in your relationship and you're picking up on little things that you probably need to address as a man, don't just let them be and let them build up and get worse and worse and worse before you explode and you be like, I can't take this no more. Don't do that. You have to be proactive. You have to really stand firm. And, if you notice things and the direction of your family isn't going in the way you want it to, then speak up and take initiative to change that. That's super important. And a woman really values that leadership. It's super important. It is.
Right.
Yeah. So I guess we can go ahead and get on into this request. Thank y'all for holding on. Let me see how we pull this on out. All right, let's see. What was that picture? I had to look at the picture first. I don't know. It's a little suspect. I wish I could see faces. It's a little suspect profile picture. What it says, you want to take the risk? Let me see. Say something. I gotta really see if this is a real person. Say something in the comments. We want to make sure that this ain't nothing, that this is a real question. We're new to this whole thing, but we also have been paying attention on little things we need to watch out for. So before we accept this, what do you think? You think it's good we get something? What would you like me to say in the comments?
I mean, they.
Or you want to take the risk? I'm going with you. What you think?
Yeah, sure. Because we're all about helping people, and I'm assuming they have a comment or question that they want to.
That is a suspect profile picture, though. Like, okay, I'm gonna go live. Show your face. What's up? This better not be nothing crazy. I'm just kidding. I hope it's not. I don't know. The person is not like clicking, going through. I don't know what's up. It's not going through. Person backed out. I don't know. Hopefully they show their face.
They may be gone. Click on that. What's that?
Oh, the request to join.
Accept.
Accepted. And I guess that.
Oh, we might have already answered their question.
Hopefully so. I don't know.
That's what I was thinking through the whole time. Is if we get through the questions, our topic, and then our dialogue, then more than likely what may happen is that we actually answer their question.
That's what we hope. Yeah. That's why we kind of do the thought of the topic beforehand. But of course, if we did not, any other questions you're willing to hop on, I'm always like, I gotta be a little, because people be putting some crazy stuff up on the internet, and I'm not trying to expose nobody to nothing. We gotta be careful for our audience as well, too. And not to get kicked off, because we are on like 3 different platforms working on getting onto another. So super important that we are mindful of who we, have that going. But let's see. I'm hoping it goes through. We're willing to take it. We still see it in here, but it's not for some reason picking up. I'm not quite sure why.
Well, I think he has to accept the request on his side. That's what's not coming through.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, then maybe we answered the question if that's like all this.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Then more than likely through our dialogue and what we said, we answered the question. Now, I do anyone out there have any questions? Because we have a few minutes. Left.
Yeah, because we kind of ran through our whole little spill. So we're gonna let me look into the chat too, our regular chat, and see if anything is up here. Not yet. Thank you, though, Instagram viewers and YouTube viewers. We really do this all for you all. So you are welcome. Don't be shy to come on in and talk to us if you have any type of questions.
It doesn't have to be on topic. We already finished the topic. So if you all have any questions that you all want to talk about, by all means, we're here for you.
Yeah. Respect, though, kind of just going back onto the topic. Respect is a huge one within a relationship that is super important that you're building on from the moment that you all meet each other. So that's even like on both parts, as the man exemplifying a respectable man and the way he carries himself and how he acts and his morals and stuff, that will really help the woman to feel comfortable in her femininity of, resting and allowing the man to lead and trust that, everything's going to be okay. That's super big. So it takes discernment on both parts when it comes to relationships.
I was just thinking of something. 5 characteristics that make the best relationship. Number 1, loyalty. Number 2, trust.
Respect, of course.
Yep. Number 3, respect.
I think admiration. I would have to add admiration in that.
Number 4, refinement. And number 5, what I said number 5 was? Service.
Oh, service. Why you say refinement too?
Because you both have to grow in your relationship. Mm-hmm. If you're not refining and being a better person in your relationship every day, then you're not refining. You're not growing.
Right. Because some people get in a relationship and think, oh, whew, I made it.
Right, yeah. And then you just
and that's it.
Gain all the weight that you possibly can and stop working out and things like that. Or
stop being nice or going after your career goals and stuff like that. We always talk about not being content. Being content is one of the easiest ways to set yourself up for, just failure in life, because it goes against everything in nature when you become content. Mm-hmm. That is just a big one. And you said your last one was, service.
Yeah, being of service.
Being of service. Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, I like those too.
Those are my five fundamentals for a successful relationship.
Yeah, because anything else, like, you can work along.
Everything else comes from that.
Yeah.
All good comes from that.
Yeah, because you can't, and not all relationships are going to have the same dynamics as who brings home the money, who maybe even cooks, who, whatever, takes the kids more. I don't know. All those types of dynamics are going to be different between every relationship. But with, like you said, at least if you have those 5 core things, then you're able to really build on your relationship.
Oh, yeah. You can build an awesome relationship from those.
Yeah. So certainly, to all the traits that we even talked about earlier about with, like, the respect, men and women, y'all can go back through this and definitely check and see if your relationship is offering these things. We can, since we ran through them really quick, I just run back through them for those who did just join, so that you are fully aware of some of the things that you need to make sure that your relationship has, so that you know that you are showing that you love and respect your spouse. So being able to listen to your spouse and take them serious. We're going to just I know this is first was talking about how a man can maintain respect, but this is ultimately too how a woman can maintain respect from her man as well, so just being able to play both of those roles. Yep. So
don't be controlling.
Yep. Don't be controlling. Certainly. And even that means, even if you don't agree with each other, don't try to persuade each other just to do what, the other person wants. Really be willing to compromise.
And then it's okay to disagree. It's agree to disagree. That's okay.
Yeah.
It takes a very mature person to do that.
Yeah.
Stop trying to convince people, to do things.
Yeah. Yeah. Respect really just allows that other person to have their own opinions and have their own values and still say, hey, I respect you and I'm going to allow you to have that, and then we're going to figure out how we're going to work through that and come together. So that's a big one.
Yep.
Stand up for your spouse when they're not around.
And don't put each other down or make fun of each other. So don't make fun of each other.
Yep. Don't belittle each other both ways, man and the woman. Don't belittle each other. Even if, the person isn't exactly who they were at one point. Wait, I think of something like that. Maybe even still try not to encourage each other to be better. Don't belittle each other.
Yeah, inspire.
Yep, certainly. Also, I think we already talked about that, but of course, telling your peers, your family, good things about your spouse, speaking highly of them, speak life into them, as well as, telling others great things about them as well. That's a nice thing.
Positive affirmations.
Yep.
Be honest.
Yep. Even when it's difficult.
Yep. When it's hard.
That's respect. Yeah. Especially when it's hard. That's really, that is ultimately respect.
Be supportive of their dreams and goals. And be encouraged be encouraging.
Yeah, find that balance, right? So especially when you're in a relationship, not everybody is going to be able to get their goals done at the same time, especially when you consider, life in general, and life happens. So that means that you are going to have to work as a team and figure out, what goal are we working on together? Think of all your goals as things that you're doing together, because you want your spouse to support you as, you accomplish your goals and vice versa. So really think of it as like a team effort, but who's taking more of the active role and who's taking more of the supportive back role, and then flip in a way.
And then make them feel safe and secure.
Yes.
So that's one of the aspects of being a man, is being a protector, other than being a provider. Making sure that your family is safe and secure.
Yeah, even in action too, how you act. Don't let your person feel insecure because you're going out here always flirting in their face, or whatever would make them possibly feel insecure. Like, you avoid doing those things, especially if it's a trigger or something like that. You don't want to have your spouse feeling like you don't value how they feel and their safety and their opinions and stuff. You don't take them in consideration.
Right. Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
Yep. So with that being said, does anybody have any questions?
Oh, here we go. We got some. Sorry, we had the things.
Well, this is a wife. What's your top 5?
Oh, what's my top 5? Okay, let me see. My top 5, definitely loyalty. That is big. Loyalty, trust, respect. So that's 3. I think I would have to say communication. Yeah, you were saying, yep, kindness, and that would go right hand in hand with communication. Being able to effectively communicate with each other, that's huge. Like, and that's going to look different for everyone. So it's really about having to figure out that sweet balance. So communication would be a big one for me. But number 5, what did I say? Admiration.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should admire your spouse. That's going to really both ways. I think the man should admire his woman and the woman should admire the man, because in that way, like, you're always going to think on the good, on what they're having their best interest, in the sense of you're thinking, even when they are doing something that may seem like they're not thinking about you, in a way you're not allowing yourself to go down that negative thought pattern of, oh, they might be trying to hurt me, or oh, they don't value my opinion or something like that. But more so, you're saying, I trust that my spouse, and I admire that my spouse actually does care about me, and I trust that they are taking in consideration what I'm going through, or whatever the case may be. So having that admiration and who they are as a person would really help you when you feel a little sketchy about them, because it happens, when you're going through your ups and downs in your relationship, you're sometimes gonna feel like, man, this my man or my woman don't care, but if you really admire them as a person, because you've seen how they are, and that you have enough evidence to believe that they really do care and they really do value your opinion, then that's going to really be able to help you have better thoughts in those times.
You can call her D. Yeah, call her D.
Yeah. That's sweet. Oh, man.
Yep, I'm Rob. This is D, my wife.
Yes.
Yep. Well.
Any other questions? This is cool. Thank you for the comments. It's always nice. We like the comments and the talking and stuff. I feel like sometimes we just be up here talking, especially me. I'm a woman, though. So, of course, I'm supposed to be the most talkative one. And I certainly am.
No, I don't mind talking.
Yeah, I know.
Especially if it's of value.
Yes, yeah. And that's why I'm glad you love doing this with me. And it's something that we enjoy doing together, because it is being able to offer value. That's kind of how we are just in general when we have conversations with people. So we love to talk. Let me see on the other chat. Anything? Nope. Nothing. Well, tomorrow's Friday, y'all.
Yeah, Marriage Fit Friday. We got topics. If y'all got topics you want us to talk about tomorrow, dealing about with relationships, talking about relationships, let us know. We'll be more than glad to do it for you. Yeah. So also too, if you want to leave an anonymous comment, question, We also have that on our website, www.wifeconomics.com/submit a question. For those people who may be shy out there, don't want to, expose themselves too much. But with that being said,
but don't be, I think that this is honestly a safe space. I don't want people to feel like, oh, we're just going to beat you down or, anything like that. Because sometimes I think that can make it scary or intimidating, but this is really a safe space. Honestly, genuinely, it's a safe space where we want to just help. So it is going to require us being honest. And I would hope you would want that, but in the way of like a good big brother, big sister type of honesty where we love you and we're going to be real with you.
Right. Yeah. As long as you're respectful. We're talking about respect, Be respectful. Be respectful with us.
Yes. Right.
So I don't have to get disrespectful with you.
Right.
You're
right.
So with that being said, thank you all for joining us tonight, Blueprint family.
Yeah.
This has been another great episode.
Yeah.
And we hope that you enjoyed it. Please like, share, subscribe. We're asking you all to just please subscribe to our YouTube website to get these numbers up, just like we do on our Instagram. We're at over 4,500 followers.
Yes, wow,
that's amazing.
So amazing. But do y'all do therapy? We have, and in a way, this helps us remember a lot of the things before. So it's nice, like therapy every day.
Or are you asking, do we provide therapy?
Yeah,
we more so provide consulting, and we will basically help and guide you through issues and give you our opinion. We for the record, we are not clinical practitioners of any sort. I don't hold a license for psychology or whatnot. I'm not a psychiatrist,
right. But we're life experts, life experts for this.
Right. I'm not going to psychoanalyze you and diagnose you and then prescribe you. But I will let you know if you're being irrational in your logic or in your judgment. I will let you know what my honest opinion is and what my honest resolution is.
Yeah.
Whether you decide to take that or not. Yeah. My wife would do the same as well. So what you're getting is both the female perspective and the male perspective of whatever you're asking or whatever your situation is.
And solution oriented,
right?
In particular, not just problem focused. That's kind of what would separate us from therapists, because they're not just gonna, vent about it. We're gonna work through solutions and come up with game plans.
Right, and that's a lot of the issues with a lot of these YouTubers that's out here too, and content creators and what do you call it, influencers.
Yeah,
they don't provide enough resolutions. They don't provide enough solutions to problems. They more so state issues. They state issues and expose people and then beat them down. Beat them down to a pulp with facts. They do provide facts, but at the same token, we're aside from all of that. We're not focused on all of that stuff. We're trying to actually help people to maintain and to be better than what they were. So
and move forward. Right. Yeah, especially because with the epidemic of loneliness that's going on, there are so many health studies on how loneliness is impacting our community as a whole and how important it is for us to just focus on building better relationships and communities. And how you do that, we come to know what the problems are. Now we need to start talking about the solutions. Now we need to start actively providing the solutions and working towards it and trying to help. That's, I guess everybody plays their own role, and I'm just glad we're playing ours.
Right. Yep. So again, with that being said,
anymore.
We appreciate you all, Blueprint family. Thank you all for coming out tonight, and we will see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
As we will have a topic that's hopefully more, marriage fit, teaching people how to become married or closer to marriage. So thank you all for coming out tonight. You all have a wonderful night. Peace.